I'm thinking of quitting my PhD, and I thought we would talk about it. My journey into doing the PhD was a little bit different to the standard route. My lead supervisor was one of my lecturers for undergraduate, who absolutely got me into romanticism. I love everything that she had to do, and was one of the reasons why I took on to do romanticism as a master's. My lead supervisor therefore approached me and said, if you could do the application, I have availability. And therefore I did the application, and she advised I had gone on to the course. My main thesis, which has enlarged and shrunk in scope throughout 3 years, is basically around romantic legacies. What have the Anglo-Romantics, particularly the Satanic school of Romanticism, so that's Percy Shelley, Lord Byron, John Keats, William Blake, what has their corpus of works done to influence postmodernism? The author who I was investigating under the lens of the Anglo-Romantics was Olga Tokarczuk. It's a new, original and unique perspective which ticks off all the criteria for PhD, and if you're thinking of doing a PhD, ensure that you are doing that, because that's the hardest part. Some bozo on the internet will say, well, you're not smart enough to do a PhD, but in order to get onto the PhD, you kind of have to prove that you have the smarts. It's not even the intellectual side, which is one of the reasons why I'm quitting. However, the composition of a thesis is very different to an undergraduate, and is very different to a master's. The step up is a lot. I still Google how to signpost paragraphs because it's ridiculously hard. So if it's not the intellectual side, then what is it? And really, my life has changed since I decided to endeavour. When I started, I wanted the career of a lecturer. I wanted to go down that route, and I didn't really have a career. My eldest had just turned 1, I now have another kid. Therefore, my family commitments have eaten into the academic side, and quite honestly, I prefer spending time with my kids than sequestering myself up into this office to write for 6 hours about Blakean mythology in Olga Tokarczuk's Drive Your Plough Over the Bones of the Dead. Additionally, in regards to a PhD, you have to write essays, you have to write papers, journals, you have to attend conferences. I just don't have the time to do any of that. I would love to say I could drop everything and for a weekday go to Oxford. I would love to be able to drop a whole week and fly to Poland, which is something that was offered to me. But I can't just leave my 2 kids behind. I don't want to do that. I don't want to leave my wife on her own. I don't want to do any of that. I know a lot of online intellectuals love the idea of essay writing, seen as this really great form of art. Essays are really boring. I enjoy ruminating about theory and its application within works. I don't enjoy writing like 60 pages on it. Just as I started my PhD, I started this channel which gives me the output to ruminate about books and talk about them. And I enjoy the freedom that this allows me. And I'm not even talking about creative freedom. I can do this when no one's in the house, like it is now. I can make a video or 2 in my lunch break. They're not in-depth. I'm not trying to do in-depth book reviews by any means. But I kind of have the outlet for that. The reality is, if you include this year, I have 2 years to finish my thesis and go through the Viva programme and complete the PhD. I can wear the hat and the gown and I go to graduation. But then I have no career prospects apart from just having a PhD. People will get to call me doctor and 3 letters will follow my name. I don't particularly care about being called doctor or having 3 letters by the side of my name. Do I want to spend the £4,000 extra to be in the same job, still talking about books online, but I'll just be able to say that I did a PhD? I suppose I could do it, but there's some cost fallacy that I don't want to fall down in. I'm not disillusioned and I'm not living in cloud cuckoo land. If there was there's the slight odds, it could happen, I suppose. Anything can happen. Someone was to offer a lecturing job where in a 3-year contract under the proviso that you will complete the PhD, that then you will become permanent, because that is a thing, that is something that people do, then yes, I would probably finish it. But that's just not going to happen in any way, shape or form. So I will either put loads of time in to complete a thesis to ultimately sit in this room and do the exact same thing that I'm doing now, which is making videos, not doing my thesis, and I won't have 3 letters at the end of my name. And I don't really care.